Alright, for this video, I'm going to take a little bit chill, alright? So, the new patch has come out, the Guardians of the Dream, I think it's 10.2. And now, okay, today I'm recording, it's Thursday, so it's been out a couple days, right? Yeah. And so, a lot of the, fights have been completed, the cinematics have been released, and now after the cinematics for the raid have been released, it seems to have made a big stink. As opposed to the previous cinematics that we've had, well, not all of them, but like particularly the one we just had with Farrak and Verinoth, right? Where they fight against each other, or where eventually they split. Those have been really good. And now these cinematics that we've gotten for the raid, they're very jarring in the way that in one moment you had a really cool cinematic to this, and honestly my immediate reaction was cringe. I couldn't bear it. It was something that was excruciating for me to watch. Obviously I'm being hyperbolic, but I mean, as far as you're like, oh man, oh, you're like, is it gonna get any better? Is anything good, juicy gonna come out? No, it just is not. Of course, if you haven't watched the cinematics, which I doubt if you even watch this channel, you've seen them. And it's just like, what is going on? So, I started in the channel, and as I've said many times before, I really enjoyed every single cinematic before, when they did those cartoony-ish ones, where they were showing Bastion and Revendreth and all those. Those were great for me. I love the story, especially the one for Bastion, obviously Arthas and Uther. They were spectacular for me. And then we moved into the cinematics, and I can't think off the top of my head any that I liked. The ones with Sylvanas and Anduin were really good. Even the ones where she's talking to the jailer, even when the jailer turns on her, I liked them all, right? If anything, I think it needed more more story, more cinematics, to flesh that out. But I don't remember any of them being like, oh my god, this is bad. Like, they were all good. Like, even when at the end, when it's Anduin and Sylvanas, when he's saying goodbye or whatever, when he's meeting her down in the mall, they were good. I mean, the only one now that I'm thinking, the very initial one, the really nice CGI one, where Sylvanas is doing that monologue, she's walking up to the Ice Crown and meeting Bolvar, and just beats the shit out of him. I understand a lot of people got upset about that, but I found it interesting. I found it very interesting, right? And it's funny now that I went and rewatched that one. I was like, okay, he says that power will be your prison. And in a way, it did turn out to be her prison, right? It's like she has to dwell in the maw, freeing all these souls for God knows how long. So yeah, that power did turn into a prison, right? When she was trying to escape this prison of, I guess, mortality or something. I don't know. Anyways, the thing is that for all of Shadowlands, despite all the problems and all the thing that people hate about it, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Maybe because it was my very first expansion. There was a honeymoon phase. I have to recognize that. The first 3 to 6 months, I was in love with it. I was enthralled, everything. And then, the problems started to happen. And yes, I did, dislike it a bit. But overall, it was still a positive experience for me. We shift now to Dragonflight. And the change was rather, I guess, 180, right? No longer was it the Horde against, the Alliance. It was about all peace, and let's just go to this land and discover and explore. Then, you got the Explorers Expedition and the Reliquary and all this kind of stuff. And it was all basically kumbaya, right? But you're like, okay, you know what? I don't care about that. It's dragons. It's back to Azeroth. It's this fabled place that we've been hearing about for ages, especially from people that have been playing this game for the longest time. And you're like, as the story progresses, you don't find that, I guess, especially coming from a dark place as Shadowlands, it's like it's all a little too goody two shoes, right? There's really no threat. Honestly, the first raid, the vault, I felt nothing. The only thing at the end fight, the last boss, which I'm wanting to do like a once this once I do this tier, I'm gonna go back and see like which bosses were pretty cool. But I can tell you, Razageth was really fun, really, really, really fun. That's the only like memorable fight that I have from the Vault of the Incarnates because it was so funny just seeing people get blown off. But it's like, but it's cool because she's telling you the story. Like, you think the Titans, did this, and like, no. It's all like this has to come from a place where you viscerally feel it, right? The story. And so, well, we defeat her, and now we get these other 3 dragons, and we're like, okay, so who are these people? And I did like Iridikron, but it was like Iridikron was like low key. He's not being explosive. Everything is being very secretive, being very meticulous. Hopefully, in the end, it pays off, and it's just some badassery we get from him. But it's kind of like a slow burn, slow cook, whatever you want to call it. But there was really no, other than that, the one with Farak and Veranoth, that was really compelling. The one that was with Veranoth and Alexstrasza, I liked Veranoth's his dialogue. And here's the thing. Here's a big, I don't remember what the saying is, like this thumb that's just sticking out, which is Alexstrasza. I apologize in advance, but the voice actor for Alexstrasza just feels so. It's just bad. I'll be honest, it's just bad. It's like, it's very exotic of me. You are my friend. Oh, I don't know if it's the where the issue is coming from for the voice actor trying to make that voice that they stress so much of the voice that it doesn't lend to being a little more dynamic. With Veranoth, you feel it. With Nosdormer, you feel it. With Calicos, you feel like when he's talking, like it comes from the character, and Alexstrasza just feels so I don't know, NPC-ish. It's just so. Oh yes, and we go together. It's like, no, I don't want a character like that. I want it to be feel more real. If you want stoicism or this matriarchal thing, you can do it, but you don't have to. I don't know. It felt fake. It felt ungenuine. Sometimes I was thinking, is Alexstrasza being fake? Like, is she trolling people? Like, is she really she's gonna turn out to be bad or something? Especially when we were hearing about how she let the Titans do all that stuff to the whelplings and stuff and the eggs. And I'm like, could it be? Is this what they're signaling, that she's really the bad and she's just being bad at being good? I don't know. So it's like, I can't stand hearing Alexstrasza anymore. Her tone. It's like it's not so much monotone. It's in this level. This I can't even really do it myself. It's just, oh my god. But everybody else, even friggin' everyone's complaining online because this is all stemming from online and people saying, oh, they want a more mature a story or themes or just the stuff. But let's look at a character like Chromie, right? Chromie is pretty much, cringy goody two shoes. But even then, she does it well. I have no complaints of Chromie. That is her character. That is how she talks and acts and everything, and grabs Dormu's leg. I have no issues with Chromie. I see the range, right? Even when the Morchi, like when she has to do the Morchi one, it's Chromie, but it's different, right? I can hear it. Like, all the voice actors have no complaints. Farak, obviously awesome. Veranoth, Iridikron. I wish I had more Iridikron. Honestly, I really miss him. Everybody else, Rathian is fine. We obviously haven't played much Rathian. As far I haven't even done the new side quest, which I'm hoping it's pretty good. Abyssian was cool. Emberthal, it was cool. So yeah, maybe a few ticks down for Emberthal, but yeah, she was good. Even the guy, what was the guy that we kill at the in the second raid? I can't remember what his name is. Man, I forgot it. Well, the guy was, that broke into Aberrus. I can't remember his name. Anyways, so even he was good. It's just Alexstrasza being one of the main characters in this thing. It was so goody two shoes, and that just permeated into this last cinematics, where you're like, holy cow, man! It's just not only is it the dialogue, it's the execution, and then that just drags everything else. So, after all that had been said, what I want to get to is because last night I was in bed. I couldn't go to sleep because I had a stomach ache. I don't know. It was my birthday last Friday, and so I ate a lot of stuff. And I don't know, something must have messed with my stomach. But I was like, I couldn't sleep, so I was thinking, because I was reading all the comments online. Everyone's having it's a shit show. It's all out war. People supporting the devs. People saying this is trash writing. Oh my God, the saga, the World Soul saga is doomed. All this stuff. Obviously, this stuff has been pre-planned and pre-written a while ago. From what I can tell, there's definitely an A team doing like the major plot points, even though you'd think the raid is a major plot point. And there's like this B team and a C team. And somehow these last cinematics and this last writing fell to that C team. And it's some people say, hey, maybe this thing was rushed. Could be the case. I just really don't know. I wish they were more open as far as, especially, Taryn Gregory, if you're watching this, how does this work? Is there an A team, a B team, a C team? How do these things get written? Is there a head writer? Is it written by committee? How are these things done? Just how Metzen came out and said, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. You come out and say, this is how we do our writing. This is when we start, and then when we can make changes or something. It's like I can't remember what was the last, big hubbub about. I think it was Alexstrasza getting R-worded, by some other dragons. I don't know. It was like who was clearing this writing, right? And then you see nice writing or cinematics in the Farak one with Veranoth, and then you see, and then the thing is that you see this new cinematic for the War Within, and you're like, holy shit, this is fucking it. This is the juice, man. And right after that, we get this raid cinematics. So coming back, I deviated a bit, but coming back, it was like, oh, we want a mature thing. This is all, for babies, for toddlers, Goo Goo Gaga, goody two shoes, and they're all the Fast and Furious memes are coming out and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, they clearly steered away from all the, me, Zug Zug, cut your head off, all this gorish type of stuff, from Warlords of Draenor, because that was the epic, the best cinematic there's ever been, right? It seems like they've been shifting to, I guess, more kid-friendly, you want to say, or less mature, or teen-rated, or, I don't know, because everything's been toned down, the sexuality, the violence, that kind of stuff, right? The no more war. So, this is the thing. I read a comment that said, oh, they're doing this whole, they're Disneyfying it, right? All you need now is the song and dance, the musical in the game. Which I think Marvel's has a musical. I haven't even watched it. I'm not going to watch that movie. Because, screw, I don't even know what her name is. Miss Marvel, whatever. The Marvels? Whatever. Anyways. They're like, okay, they're Disneyfying it. Okay, and yeah, maybe it's true. Disney does this kind of thing. But even back then, right? Old Disney, 2 thumbs up. New Disney, down, right? But I recently, and by recently I mean the last year or two, I can't remember how long it was, but there was this movie we saw, and it was Puss in Boots. The very last one, the very last one that came out. It was, I think it was around December, probably. Yeah, I think it was probably a year ago. Mom was still here with us, and we rented the movie on YouTube, right? And so the thing, what I'm trying to say is that we were all home, and we could see that it's written for kids, but there's always this thing like, oh, cool, they put in jokes or they put in things for the adults, right? They put in things so that the adults can enjoy. Usually, typically in these kid movies, but that movie was so enjoyable that it managed to be a kids movie, or a young people movie, but with a lot of mature material. That at the end of the movie, us as a family, my mother, my sister, my brother, and I, we were all left talking about it. You're like, hey, this and this and this, and man, it was funny, and we were laughing. I remember my mom being very happy. I remember mom making the comment that she enjoyed the movie so much because we were laughing our heads off that she felt like she had her kids back again, like when we were little kids. She's all like, "This movie's so funny, so great that you guys were laughing so hard that I remembered when I had you as little babies." And I was like, "Yeah, this is so cool about this movie is that it is so funny, but it doesn't feel dumbed down or stupid or silly just for for the laugh factor, whatever. It was genuinely funny, but not in a, I guess, I don't know what the word is, condescending way. Uh, and it was very mature and a lot of things you could understand. And I feel like that if Warcraft wants to keep going that way, they can, but there's a lot of solid writing they could put in to make us feel those emotions. And that's why when I went to BlizzCon, I was very optimistic of the World Soul Saga, because you could see that, and you could see how Metzen was saying, from this little thing, something epic can happen. And I have to say, in that short cinematic, it comes to me in a certain way, it's above Warlords of Draenor, right? In the gut punch, right? And that kind of a thing. As far as the spectacle, the brutality, the macho stuff, that energy, right? That toxic masculinity. Warlords of Draenor, of course, and that's what I'm hopeful. So after everything's said and done, I'm hoping that this cinematic is just a vestige of this ill writing, of this abandoned writing, of this just get it out. We're gonna focus on something else. Hopefully now these next story beats, because they've just announced that we're going to back to Golneas, we're gonna reclaim it, and there's gonna be other inhabitants there. Who knows who they're gonna be? I think that if they need to get this Golneas stuff right, because from what I know, this is a big part of like WoW lore, right? Golneas and obviously, I forgot his name. The guy that's always yelling, Sylvanas! Greymane. I had to remember, like, go back to my Hearthstone roots. Oh, yeah, what was that card I used to play? Oh, yeah, Greymane. Okay. Yeah, him and his son and Sylvanas and all that kind of stuff. Which I think Sylvanas will come back one day. I'm pretty sure she will. Probably with Andrew. We'll see. We'll see if that's going to be now the start of something leading into the war within. And if anything, Metzen has to, not be relent and get on top of these people, get on top of Terran Gregory, get on top of whomever's dealing with what I assume is like the B team and C team, saying, okay, no more crap. I'd rather do nothing if we're not going to do, good writing, good story. Like, a lot of things don't need to be told, it needed to be said. You know, I can remember one instance, like from Lord of the Rings, the very beginning, right? It's when they're fighting against Sauron, and he comes to the battlefield and he just he's wrecking everybody. And then the king comes up and he tries to, attack him, but then he gets thrown down and he tries to lift. I think then the son, I think it's called Isildur, goes and grabs a sword, but then Sauron steps on it and breaks it, right? And still when he goes to go grab him, he like slashes him with a broken sword. It's like you see these emotional beats, right? The father goes up and meets the challenge of Sauron, gets thrown down. The son's like, my father, and he's on his side, but he grabs the sword, right? And then he takes the mantle. Obviously, he gets thrown down, but he doesn't give up, right? He still fights to the very end and manages to cut off his finger, and the ring rolls off and they win. So that's what I feel that they need to. Man, they need to put money into that. They need to put people into that. It's amazing that you're in You're in Southern California. You have very talented writers and actors. I mean, all the voice actors. I mean, that live there. Obviously, voice actor for Sylvanas, for Anduin, for I can't think of, for Jaina. All these great voice actors, right? It's there shouldn't be any issue where you get bad voice acting or writing in these things. So what do I know? In the end, what the hell do I know? It's just my opinion. I could be very wrong, right? If Taryn and all these people were like, man, you son of a bitch, you don't know nothing. You think you know, but you don't know. Anyways, the only thing I do know is that this was bad. In my opinion, these last two cinematics were bad. So it should have been more epic, especially with Amir Dressel. It's a big event, right? This should have hit hard. And then I think there's another cinematic when there's spoilers. I think it's Ysera goes back to the dream because she can't stay or whatever. I don't know. And I think I saw a piece where Alex Stars is like, my friend or something, whatever. It just stretches out her arm like, no, hug her. What the hell? Stop being so stoic and so. Kind of reminded me of like the Queen Elizabeth, like so. I don't touch anything. Anyways, I'm gonna cut it short there, folks. It's Thursday. I believe I'm going to raid today with my old guild. So I want to raid for this tier again. This might be a bad decision, but I'm back to raiding. If they'll have me, I don't mind giving them my loot. I want to play again the raid. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one.